Welcome everyone. This is another Meet the Apprentice interview. I'm Tiff Gilleland. I'm a hero of the Arcanum, and I work on the social channels and all that kind of good fun stuff. And I'm also an apprentice in Ron Clifford's cohort. I'm here with Jake McCluskey of AD Wheeler's cohort. He's actually level 20 and waiting around to get chosen by a new master for his Sphere 2 experience. But in the meantime, he's been getting busy with his photography and business of his own that he's kicking off, and so I wanted to chat to him about that. He's running Shutterclick Adventures, where he'll be taking groups of photographers around with some photographers from the Arcanum. There were some great names that you might already know, AD Wheeler, Stuart Davidson, Angela Bipan, Caleb Ash, Tony McGee-Causey, and Mason Marsh, just to name a few if I've missed anybody. So yeah, anyway, now over to Jake. Jake, tell me about yourself. What do you like to shoot? How did you get started in photography? In 250 words or less. No.
In 250 words.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. As long as you like.
I'm actually first off, I'm a father to two wonderful little girls, and that's the most important thing to me. And I shoot landscape, and I've started working on shooting nightscapes because where I live the sky is beautiful. And I started shooting photography. I picked up the camera the first time 20 years ago. In a high school photography class and learned how to shoot black and white and develop it. And cool enough, I actually still have the original camera I learned to shoot on, and it still functions. I just don't have film for it.
Awesome. What made you apply to the Arcanum?
I'd followed stocking customs for years. I couldn't tell you how long I'd followed it, and I had a couple of Trey's ebooks, and I'd seen it a couple of times, and actually there was a video, and I couldn't even tell you the one anymore, but it was one of the first videos that he did. Now this was probably June of last year. There was a video of this is when I saw the video. I don't know when it was cut, but it was of him and Karen Hutton and talking about it and stuff, and I went, well, that's kind of cool. So I went over to the website, and I'd been shooting a lot more. A couple of years ago, I picked up a camera again, but it wasn't great. I mean, I was just having some fun with it. Mostly, I bought it so I could take pictures of my girls, which is like the one thing I don't ever use it to take pictures of. I use the iPhone for that because it's usually more convenient. And so I was kind of trying to learn how to do landscape and macro, and I saw this video and I went, well, what's it hurt? And I was thinking, and then I went on the website and they said they had a 30-day trial, and I was like, okay, I'll give it 30 days and see what I think. And if I like it, I'll stick around, and if it's not for me, no harm, no foul. So I applied. I went through the application process, and it took me, I don't know, longer than it probably should have. I think it took me 3 days to finally finish it all out or something. And I just waited, and I was one of the fortunate ones because I think I waited 3 days, and
Wow.
I got picked up by AD Wheeler.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah, I think the shortest time I've heard is somebody filled their thing out and got picked the next day, but that's, there's still some people I know that have been waiting in there for months, and yeah, but I know that we're expanding now. There'll be more masters coming on, so people will be getting chosen very soon. So we're all starting to catch up. Yep.
So, it was actually funny because I got it and I went, who's AD Wheeler? So, like anybody, I did a quick Google search, and actually I started digging through his photos, and he has one photo, and I won't tell anybody what it is. He knows. That when I saw the photo, I went, this is the guy I want to deal with. And that was kind of the nail. And I think I got the acceptance letter from him. It was in the evening, and it was by the next morning I was ready to go. So
yeah, awesome. So what do you think it was that was in your application that got you noticed by AD? Do you know? Have you chatted with him?
No idea, because I went back. I can show you the photos I submitted, and there's no reason, that I should have gotten so lucky.
Yep.
So I really
Yep.
don't know.
Yep. Yep. No, I know.
You
I don't know either. So for my case,
know.
so yeah. And
he,
like you, it's like I look at the photos now and I'm just like, oh God. But
yeah,
I
he
didn't
saw
know any better.
something in me and went with it, and I'm very glad he did.
Yeah.
Um, but I couldn't tell you what it was.
Yep. Yeah. So, what was it like being in the Arcanum? You've talked about this a little bit already, actually. Like the first month sold you, but yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm
the
guessing
first
it
month
did
sold
measure
me,
up.
and
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. You know, it was different in a positive way. I feel really lucky to I got to do that journey with AD, and when I came in, there was I think 5 other people in the
Yep.
cohort at the time. 2 of them didn't get to stay. They chose to move on to other things, and so but the other 3 of us are all still here that were right in the beginning. Um, and you know, it definitely measured up to what I expected. It was different than I thought it was going to be, but the differences were great. You know, I've made some wonderful friends. Um, you know, you talked about ShutterClick Adventures real quick, and honestly, I couldn't have even fathomed jumping at that without the cohort support. I mean, they've been so supportive on that. I mean, just you know, it's a lot of work to set something like that up, and it's kind of a hope. And every day they're like, you know, you're good. You know, they're there to support me. They're there to help. They're there to have a good time. But you know, as far as the Arcanum and the leveling, um, it was a blast. I actually have joked around that I wish I could go back to level 1 and do it again.
Oh, wow.
So
That's some excellent feedback. That is, isn't it?
yeah, I had a fun enough time that I'd almost take another master and do it again, just so I could say, 1, that I've done it twice, and 2, because I had so much fun that I think I'd meet so many more great people that it would
Yeah.
be worth it to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's interesting you say that because if you did start again with a new master, every cohort's slightly different depending on the master. So it wouldn't be the exact same, experience that you had before. So yeah,
Exactly. So, you know,
yeah,
part of me goes, well, you know, okay, so let's say I could start over again tomorrow with like, I don't know, let's go with Mason Marsh. You know,
yeah,
he's fun, he's vibrant, he's got a great personality. He's got a beard, which I definitely respect.
yeah,
Mine's a little short right now because I went to trim it and trimmed it a little shorter than I normally do. But,
yeah,
you know, so what would it be like for me to start tomorrow in level 1 with Mason and get to do
yeah,
this journey again, and and not have expectations to be it like you know to live up to or anything, but be able to truly go, I'm going to do this again for the experience and not judge it or rate it off my current experience. I think would be a great thing. I mean, you would learn again, you know, all those little inconsistencies that from a different perspective. And so
yeah,
I think there could be definitely some fun with that down the road.
yeah, yeah, for
I
sure.
don't know what
Yeah,
Pete, Trey, and Curtis's thoughts are on that one, but I definitely think it could be fun
yeah.
to be able to opt in to pick a get a new master and go through it again.
Yeah. Well, I think that that's probably what they're kind of crafting in a different way with the extra spheres, the sphere 2. I mean, they're more focused, but you go through with a cohort the same way as we did in the lower levels. So, next question I've got, I forgot to check with you before we hit the record button as to whether or not you've brought any images with you to share with us. Have you
I do.
brought
I've got
anything along?
okay.
You
So
do?
I've got 3
Okay.
before images and 3 after images.
Cool. Awesome.
So there we go. Okay, so this was actually one of the images I submitted to AD.
Hmm.
Actually, all 3 of the images I picked are from my first submission.
Okay.
So this
Yeah.
is one of them.
Yeah.
And so, and then here's a really bad waterfall that's slanted and blowing out, and we're not going to get into it. Um, and then here's an old shed that you know isn't. I didn't even straighten the horizon lines or anything. I didn't even know how.
Yeah.
So those are the 3. Those are actually 3 of the images that I gave to AD on my application. So as you can see, when I said I thought I was pretty lucky, to stick that out there and get somebody to think they can they can straighten me out, I felt really, really happy about.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know what the order of the next three are, so we're gonna I can't remember what I did. So,
Yeah. Okay.
oh yeah. So this is afterwards. This is a spot that I like to go shoot. That was this was in early fall, with flowing water and moss and fog and the sun, and so this was one of my favorite shots that I've taken to date. So, and actually, I shot this place 3 times, during, or once before, once during, and then once when I was once at about level 15 or so, and this was the last time I shot it.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And so I tried finding the other photos so I could stick all them side by side, but I couldn't figure out where I put them.
Yeah.
But this was the one that actually I like. Obviously, it's the good one.
Yeah. For sure.
This is the one that I've had printed with the giant swirl of water and the fall colors.
Yep, I remember this one. Yeah.
Yeah, my poor cohort probably saw this in every season because it was this great chain of like 9 waterfalls that nobody knew really where they were, and I could go there and hide on a Saturday morning and just get away.
Yeah.
And then this is actually this part of this same photo right before winter froze everything. So I got this really cool ice. So
Wow.
that's kind of some of the stuff that I got to do that I did before and after. So.